Hey y'all, it's Elizabeth Weimler and it is June 2023. Who can believe how fast the month of May went? I don't know, I can a little bit. This year's flying by, which is crazy. But I know there's a lot going on in June. It should be a more positive energy, really fair amount of movement. At the same time, a couple planets slowing down, one planet going retrograde, one planet slowing down to go retrograde in July. So a lot kind of going on, but let's dig on into it. And then we'll kind of start off overall big section, big high level, and then we'll get into what each sign can expect potentially for the month of June. As always, like and follow this video, share it, subscribe to the channel because then you get notifications when new videos come out. There is going to be a video coming out on Chris Stapleton. There is already an article on my website on him that I chose to look into. I did a little trip to Nashville and learned more about him at the Country Music Hall of Fame, and it's fascinating. So if you get a chance, go check that out as well, and a video will be forthcoming in the next couple days from when this was recorded. So check it out. Again, like and follow if you want to subscribe to my free newsletter. The link is below this video. I make it super easy. I don't spam you because I don't want spam. So I very much respect your privacy. And with that being said, let's jump on in. So May 30th, Venus did transit into sidereal Cancer, which is the side note I always share. I do use sidereal system of astrology. I'm also a Vedic astrologer. So that is something to keep in mind because sidereal and tropical are different approaches. So planets are in different signs. I know a lot have heard tropical, but I do sidereal. So May 30th, Venus is transited into sidereal Cancer. Really pay attention to the energies over the next month because Venus is going to be spending a lot of time in Cancer. The reason is this is a year Venus goes retrograde. So Venus goes retrograde every 18 months. It did not retrograde. Well, we started last year retrograde, kind of, but it has not been retrograde for a while. So pay attention as Venus is in Cancer because it is going to spend a lot of time here. It'll be in Cancer this first part until August 7th. Or just kidding. I'm sorry. July 6th. Ignore me. So starting May 30th to July 6th is when Venus is in Cancer. Then it's going to go into Leo, and then it's going to retrograde and pop back into Cancer on August 7th, where it will stay until October 1st. So really long chunks of time of Venus in Cancer. So pay attention. This is what you're going to get to experience over the next, pretty much the summer into the fall. I will give more on Venus retrograde and what to expect in the next newsletter, which is why you should sign up or follow the videos because then you'll get that insight. But when Venus is showing its best attributes in Cancer, it can be more sensitive. It can be very emotionally open. It can be very kind. When Venus is weaker in Cancer, which for this first month, it will be a little weaker because it is transiting with a debilitated Mars in Cancer. That conjunction with a malefic planet is going to kind of bring Venus down a little bit, but that can bring a little more emotional upheaval. It can be also a time when we see, some issues with real estate or finance on the bigger picture. It can also be a time where we see more flooding. So just pay attention to that. We have a full moon, June 3rd. We start the month off with a full moon in Scorpio, really a time to bring projects to completion before the next new moon. Do not start new projects now. We've talked about this a few times in past videos. Don't start new projects at a full moon or after a full moon. Wait until the next new moon to begin them. The good news is that next new moon is going to be June 18th, and we'll have a new moon in Gemini. And this is really a time to begin new projects. It's going to be a time where, because of where Neptune is right now in sidereal Pisces, Neptune will be sending its energy via square to this new moon. What that says is it's a time to release outdated ideas or ideas that are no longer serving you to your greatest good. It can be a time where you really need to make sure you keep your expectations grounded in reality. New moons are always also a great time to contemplate and reconnect with your inner self. So really go within, spend that time really with yourself. June 4th, Mercury is going to be exactly conjunct Uranus in sidereal Aries. We did start the month with Jupiter and Rahu conjunct in Aries on June 1st. Well, it kind of started a little May 31st, June 1st, June 2nd. So June 4th, Mercury is going to be conjunct Uranus. What this means, it's a time to be patient. There could be disputes. Mercury is the planet of transportation and communication, and Uranus is really the planet that you expect the unexpected with. So keep that in mind. There could be some rash behavior. There could be some rash driving. I don't know about any of you. I've seen it already where I live. So just keep that in mind. The bright side of that Uranus and Mercury conjunction is that it can bring creative ideas to the forefront and lead to new perceptions. So there are always positives. There's always some potential things to watch out for, but with everything, there's two sides to everything that goes on. June 7th, Mercury is finally going to say goodbye to Aries and transit into sidereal Taurus. Mercury is now, after its retrograde in the spring, May, going to start moving much faster. It's going to start clipping through signs. So it's going to be in Taurus from June 7th to June 24th. Very quick stay. Mercury does really well in Taurus. It's more creative. It can be very intelligent. It can be focused and balanced. It's really, a time that'll bring smoother communications and that ability to have excellent communication skills. Now, there are going to be some other transits that offset this. So there can be that, I won't say contradiction, but a little bit of that, both sides to this going on. But Mercury in Taurus overall does bring better communication. Now, if your natal chart says communication skills are harder for you, this may temporarily help you have better communication skills, unless you've truly mastered your communication skills and really worked on it because you understand that is not a natural gift for you. And that's truly what it is. It's just not a natural gift. It's not, it doesn't make you a bad person. It's just not a natural gift, and it's how you work with it. So keep that in mind on any of this. We have free will. We're able to learn things. Mercury is moving really fast, as I mentioned. So that's going to make our minds move faster because Mercury is the mind. It can be a time when we're more energetic and we feel like we can get things done. So with that being said, going to move on. June 9th, moon's going to be conjunct Saturn. This is really usually a quick 1-2 day effect while the moon is transiting through sidereal Aquarius, which is where Saturn is transiting right now. It could bring a kind of heaviness feeling, a little bit moodier. Just know it's going to pass quickly unless you have this natally in your chart, and then that's a whole different issue. And if you haven't had a birth portrait consultation, there's no time like the present to sign up below. That link's down there with the newsletter as well. June 15th, the sun's going to make its annual move into sidereal Gemini. It's going to be in Gemini until July 16th. It's really a time, have fun, let your creative side out. It can be very communicative while it's in Gemini. It can be curious and playful. Overall, this is really going to be positive and upbeat. May need to watch a little bit for restlessness and impatience and being overly critical of others, but it can be a time where we see people travel more. And think about it. In the Northern Hemisphere, this coincides with summer vacation for schools, and a lot of people do that right as schools get out. June 17th, this is a big one. Saturn is going to station and turn retrograde. So this happens every year. Saturn's retrograde, and it's retrograde for about 4.5, 5 months at a time. So it's going to be retrograde until November 4th. The weeks before and after when Saturn is sitting stationary, it can bring more anxiety. It can bring mood shifts that seem to come on out of nowhere. There could be some shocks and surprises. It can also bring potential seismic events and intense weather potential. So just keep that in mind. This effect has already started with June 17th being that date it stations. And then it'll be a few weeks after that as well. And mixed with some of the other stuff going on, just keep that in mind. One of the big things with Saturn that I always tell my clients is Saturn gets a bad reputation. But if you work hard, which is what Saturn is asking, if you put in the discipline, if you really work to overcome what Saturn is trying to teach you, Saturn will give really big rewards. So focus on overcoming things, work on your blind spots, be open to hearing about your blind spots, even working with a coach or somebody that can help you and that, will be open and honest with you in respect to helping you grow and become, more that you can be, because we're all capable of so much. So keep that in mind. Other thing with Saturn rules our knees. if you are thinking of having a surgery related to your knees, and Saturn does rule some other things, it rules bones, things like that. If you have elective surgery scheduled related to Saturn and what it rules, I don't recommend doing it during retrograde because it will take longer to heal, or there could be the need to have the surgery again more quickly. So if it's elective and you can push it, I would recommend pushing those surgeries related to Saturn until after November 4th. So that's just my heads up. June 24th, as I said, Mercury moving along fast. He is switching signs again and going to transit into his own sign of Gemini. He will be in Gemini until July 8th. This transit could be a bit of a mixed bag. You could see a couple different things. Mercury is going to be with the sun in Gemini. And while Mercury does well with the sun because it is always within the same sign, or just in the sign next to it, because the sun and Mercury are never far apart when we look at our solar system, it can be a time where, communication skills could be really good. It could be a time where you find yourself drawn to more mental pursuits. It can be a time of resourcefulness. There could be a bit of, more of a sense of humor and like quick-wittedness, and you may find yourself desiring to travel. There could also be a bit of that restlessness with Mercury and Gemini. So keep that in mind. Sometimes when the sun and Mercury are really close, the sun can bring out the worst in Mercury, making communication a little more challenging. So part of this is also knowing your personal chart and what your chart says and what natural tendencies you have. That'll help give more indications of how this will truly play out. Also, with Mercury and the sun together, could be potential travel issues. Not what anybody wants to hear, headed into summer travel, I know, but I'm just throwing it out there. June 30th, Mars is going to transit into sidereal Leo, where it will stay until August 18th. So one of the things is, between any time a planet transfers from Cancer to Leo, it passes a critical point between a water sign and a fire sign. This is called Gandanta. I've talked about this before in past newsletters and past videos, but when planets are Gandanta, it's considered an emotional knot. We can see increased emotions. We can see increased flooding because it's considered, drowning, overcome by emotions, literal drowning. We can see, that uptick in storms and rain and flooding. This summer, I would expect we could see some wildfires that start around that time and become very large in scope with everything else going on. So just keep that in mind and pay attention. Just know pay attention. Know that's a potential. So there are a lot of positives, but as always, it does depend on your personal birth chart. So keep that in mind. Again, to book a reading, book a consultation below. With that being said, let's take a look at what each of the signs can expect for the month of June 2023. Always look at your ascendant and your moon. I always say look at both. If you don't know your ascendant, there are plenty of sites out there that you can go to get what your ascendant is. And if you don't have a time of birth and you're like, Elizabeth, I don't have an ascendant, so I don't have a time of birth, use the moon. The moon's great. The moon is the mind. It's what we think of ourselves. So if you know your time of birth and you can do that, look at both your moon and your ascendant. If not, just use your moon. There's nothing wrong with that. It's perfect. It's how we do chart readings when there's no time of birth. So go ahead. These are broad generalizations. Again, each of your charts is going to be differently based on how your personal planets are laid out and what else is going on in the chart. But overall, high level, broad. Aries, this can be a really great month to make sure that your home has a positive flow of energy, and that it is really, there's nothing stagnating that energy. There's nothing stopping the flow. There's not, if you're in a spot where you can open the windows and let fresh air in, do it, let that energy out from the winter. And like in the Northern Hemisphere, in the Southern Hemisphere, you're getting ready for winter. Let that energy flow out before you're closed in all winter. It's going to be really important to maintain your responsibilities to family, work, and any education you're doing. It can be, some tension around the home with arguments and disagreements. Really, if you're gonna do anything, take that step back. Wait till that tensions have calmed before having a conversation. It's going to be a much more beneficial conversation if you're not doing it while both of you are pissed off and biting at each other's heads. Another thing, get your car checked out. Make sure that there's no major problems. If your light comes on, don't put it off. And then it can really be a fun month to kind of add some new fun, small accessory to your home. Taurus, this can be a great month to start working out as your physical strength is really going to be higher. Let your inner child out to play and enjoy the most of life. So get out, have some fun, whatever that looks like for you, whatever you enjoy, get out, make the most of it. Use this time to express yourself, let your creativity out. That can be through music or dance or writing or art or athletics, but do something that lets you express yourself and be you. And, especially when you're working, you can get very tied to this is who I am, this is my job. And some of you, work may be the fun, but also make sure you have that fun side as a true fun side where you get a break from work, because it's not always good to just focus on work. It is important to stay calm during your communications this month, Taurus. Be that voice of calm and reason, but don't hog attention. If you have siblings, don't pick fights with them this month. Just kind of wait until the next month to bring some stuff up with them. And it can be a really great month for you to focus on selling and self-promotion. Gemini, you will be more direct this month. And with that, it does bring a bit of that need to watch what you say. So really, while you can be more direct, which can be very beneficial, it can also get you in a bit of trouble if you don't take the time to think through the words you're using and who you're saying them to. So that audience that you're speaking to. So really take that time, think them through. You'll thank yourself later. And just really take that time and especially don't have conversations while you're pissed off. You can be more impulsive with your spending this month. So really be mindful and really work to stick to your budget. It can be really also very important to take that time and eat not on the run. Take that time, make time to sit down and eat in order to avoid any digestive upsets. Eating on the run isn't good anyways, so don't do it in general, but this is a more important month for you to sit down and take the time to eat. It can also be a really great month to take a short course or learn new information because you'll be able to take it in really quickly. Cancer, you are going to have more ambition and energy to accomplish your goals and to tackle, that to-do list that you've been sitting on and adding to and just been hanging over your head. So take that time, take that energy, get it done. You're going to feel really capable of overcoming anything that may be put in your way or anything that's been overwhelming before. You do have this real ability to complete unfinished projects more efficiently, so be sure to take advantage of this opportunity. However, the flip side, everything comes with a flip side, while you're able to move more quickly to do this, if it is, moving more quickly to get yard work done or things around the house done, just be cautious. Maybe try to slow down a little bit because you can be a little more accident prone. So be mindful. That's not saying don't move fast. That's not saying don't get things done. Take advantage of this energy while you have it. But just know you can be a little more accident prone this month. The other thing is pace yourself so you don't burn yourself out this month, as well as watching that temper so that you don't explode on people. So take a deep breath before reacting on impulse, count to 10, take the night to sleep on it, and just don't jump into the deep end on fights and arguments. Leo, make sure for you that your home is protected this month. Double check doors are locked and windows are closed before leaving the house. It can be a good month to pay ahead on your credit cards and get in front of any potential debt. So if you know you have something big coming up, save that money this month so that next month it's not as overwhelming to manage. Take the time, reassess your budget, look over your finances, kind of put together a plan for the rest of the year. We're almost fully 6 months through, almost at the end of this month. So take that time, do a mid-year assessment and see where you're going. It is especially important to check in on your budget if you haven't done it in a while. So I know how easy it is to forget and just be like, whatever, but check in and see what's going on. You may feel like you're not sleeping as well this month, which could leave you waking up a little more tired or feeling more unrested, not rested. Good news is this is a passing influence for you unless your chart says otherwise. There are people that sleep is just, there are going to be times it's not going to be great. And for some people, that's more of life than other people. So just know that. Big thing for you, Leo. Last final thought I'll leave you with. At the office, be careful of what you share in confidence with others to avoid backstabbing. Virgo, this is a month where you can see your cash flow increase as opportunities present themselves to you. Really get out and socialize with your friends, have a great time, get out there. It's going to be really important for you However, to watch your back, is there can be people that pretend to be your friend that do not have your best interest at heart. So just, take everything at face value, don't overthink things, and don't trust people too quickly this month. For you, it's really important to avoid the get rich quick schemes, as the reality is someone will get rich and it's not going to be you. So just know that if it sounds too good to be true, it is. And if you're thinking of loaning money to friends, unless you're okay with it never getting repaid, this is not the month to loan money to friends, because it will truly be a gift and not a loan. Libra, this is really a good month to promote yourself. It may be making it known about the projects you've accomplished at work or a project you are working on. Really show up, put yourself out there, take the credit for it, take action this month. Don't overthink any of the decisions to the point that you miss out on them. So there is the point of, thinking about them, weighing the pros and cons, but not overthinking them to the point that the opportunity has passed you by. It is important to remember to respect your boss, and it can be a good month to consider your career path and what you see as your next steps. So make a plan, start implementing it, and it may be looking out a few years. And I know some of you are like, I don't plan, I get it. Have a broad goal. You never know where to lead, but like if you at least have that, you can work backwards and kind of see where to start, and where you start, you never know what path it's going to take you down. If you are considering asking for a promotion, be sure to gauge your employer's reactions before making demands. So if you know that the company's getting ready to cut budgets and things like that, now's not the time to ask for a promotion. So use critical thinking, understand that. But if you sense it's the right time, and it seems good from all the other perspectives, it could be a good time to ask for that. Scorpio, this is a lucky month for you. You're going to feel more inspired. And at the same time, you may also feel that you cannot trust that like inner gut feeling. It's going to be really important though, to trust your heart, trust your gut. So while you feel you can't trust it anyways. How many times personally, I have not listened to my gut, what it was telling me, and I regretted it. So I'm sure many of you have the same thing. So always trust your gut, even if it doesn't make sense sometimes. And sometimes it's not going to make sense, but there's reasons for it. It's really a month to break the links to those that are controlling you or trying to control you and tell you how to live your life. Authority figures may come across as demanding your attention and respect, but really be aware their motivations may be unclear or hidden. So try not to get into fights with your boss or your father or authority figures of any type, because the outcome is not going to be favorable if you get into the fights right now. So go with the flow and see where things lead, and wait till next month. Sagittarius, for you, support can come quickly this month, whether it be help from others or money that helps out. You may find that your curiosity about a topic leads you to dig deeper and learn even more. So really dig in, see what you find, learn more, spend time reading, spend time, researching. Your mind is really going to be full of new insights and new ideas. Be sure to write these insights and ideas down, or they will pass you by. They will go right in your mind and right out the other side. So write them down, make notes. You're going to feel, at times this month, you may feel more worried and vulnerable. This is going to pass, of course, unless your chart says otherwise. But another good thing to do this month is check in on your health, because there could be issues that surface this month, and it's good to catch things early. So again, this also goes with listening to your intuition. Health-wise, Sagittarius, this is a good month to do a cleanse or a detox for your health. Capricorn, your passions are going to be higher between you and your partner, whether it be marriage or business this month. So it could be passions higher in that you're fighting, your business partner, or in marriage, true passion. But be mindful that if it feels like for you, your partner is attacking your character, that you let them release that steam, because they're likely projecting anger from others onto you. And you're that trusted source. You're the one they feel they can go to. You're the one that they know really won't, that'll be there for them. So take it in one ear, listen to them, hear them out. For you, remain calm, cool, and collected, and it will allow for a more favorable outcome for you. Really focus on those projects that can be completed quickly this month, and pay extra attention if you're signing contracts and agreements. If you're paying attention to those details, read the fine print, have somebody else double check it to make sure it's all on the same page. But really, before signing, pay extra attention to those details of contracts and agreements this month. Aquarius, take the initiative to improve yourself and your skills. There can be more tension and aggression at work that may leave you feeling more uncomfortable. That's what I'm trying to say. This can be a really good month to begin that exercise program that you've been talking about. Just jump in, do it, get started, stop procrastinating. It doesn't matter if you promised yourself back in January. There's no time like the present because we can't shoulda, coulda, woulda, but we can do today. So show up, do what you can. That exercise is gonna help you release tension, building up within you. However, you could be a little prone to overheating. So if you're outside exercising, as it gets warmer in the northern hemisphere, just be cautious. Don't go in the middle of the day if it's too hot. Take water with you. And there could be a little more chance of you getting sick with fevers or heat sickness. So keep that in mind. So it's just being mindful. But one of the keys is putting your health first. If you have pets, there could be issues with their health as well that could be more costly this month. Pisces, make time to have fun this month. Go out, enjoy. It can be playing with your kids. It can be getting out and getting together and doing something fun with friends or family, or just, if you want to get out by yourself and do something fun, get out and do something fun by yourself. We don't always need people to do stuff with. We can still have fun on our own. There's so much out there we can do. You may find, especially as you get out there and have fun, that inspiration comes in a more unexpected way, from an unexpected place, or even completely out of the blue. So be open, be willing to listen, have some way to take notes with you, whether it be on your phone note section or a piece of paper or whatever. You're going to feel that you have a clearer vision during this period. And this is a month to really show your passion. So let it out, show it. On the flip side, don't make any rash decisions. So if you get a great idea, I'm not saying don't jump in, but weigh the pros and cons, check it out, do your research, do your due diligence, and see what's going on. Also, take that time to cool down and sleep on them. That is your June 2023, what you can expect. As I said, a lot going on. And as always, like, follow, subscribe to this video for more. Again, I have a Chris Stapleton video coming out. The article is already on my website, so go check it out. If you want to read it. Again, I will add the video very shortly. So keep an eye on that for the video if you want the video. But again, it's already in the blog. If you get my newsletter, or if you don't get my newsletter, sign up for my newsletter below. And until then, I hope all of you have a wonderful June and enjoy it, and enjoy every moment, and live in the present as always. And I will see you in the month of July. And until then, just enjoy and live life and have fun.